Yeah, thank you very much for this invitation and for the opportunity to talk to you. Um, I'm gonna talk a bit about the interaction and collaboration with AI-based systems or AI-based teammates. How I like to call them because they have team behavior. They have behavior that contributes to a collaboration. And yeah, sorry for presenting that way. There were some problems, but I hope you can see everything. So maybe I'll first start a bit about me. So I'm an assistant professor for information systems and service development. I'm with the Department of Software Engineering, but my background is in information systems. That's where I did my PhD. That's what I studied. And my research focuses now mostly on how people interact and collaborate with any kind of intelligent systems or AI-based systems. Sometimes have yeah, discussions about the meaning of AI. So that's why I like to also just say these are intelligent systems or systems that act human-like in some certain way and how that impacts the future of work, society, but also yeah, the way we collaborate. And I also do design science research. So I design and develop these systems and services. Design science research, a paradigm quite popular in information systems where you create prescriptive knowledge. So how to design something to have a specific effect. And but I also do a lot of experimental research and a bit of computational intensive research. So analyzing big amounts of data to make some sense out of it. But today I'm actually talking mostly about experimental research. But first, a few things about LUT. I don't know if you're too familiar with LUT University. So that's the university where I'm working at, a university in Finland. Um, Quite a new university, quite a still a little university with roughly 7,000 students and 1,300, probably now more like 1,400 staff. We are located, and the origins are in Lappeenranta, which is on the east border of Finland and all in the south. And we have a second campus. We have also some smaller campuses, but we have a second big campus, which is in Lahti. That's why LUT University nowadays is called the Lappeenranta Lahti University of Technology. And Lahti is quite close to this green dot here, which is Helsinki. Yeah, these are our campuses. I always like to advertise them because there's one thing you might see quite close to a lake. So this is the campus in Lappeenranta with the Lake Saimaa in the background. It's a very nice walk. When you take a break, you can walk around along the lake, and yeah, it's very beautiful. This is of course taken in summer. Right now, we still have snow actually. It's around -4 degrees, but it's coming soon that we will have a lot of lush green. And yeah, this is the campus in Lahti, also quite close to a lake. These both campuses are located very nicely with a nice surrounding, and this is the city of Lahti. But yeah, I hope maybe to see some of you in LUT, either in Lahti or Lappeenranta. You're highly welcome to visit. Thank you. And this is what I will be talking about today. Those are research projects, papers that are currently ongoing, that are accepted, or that are already published, that all relate to the concept of interaction and collaboration with AI. So yeah, I don't see any of your comments because I switched the tab. So if you have some questions, please, I would like to discuss those yeah, during the presentation. And I brought two papers which mostly focused on collaboration, but one that is more grounded in the interaction, or you can even say it's grounded in the mere presence of AI in some kind of context. And in this context, it's a marketing project actually. and it's about consumer information privacy concerns and how AI agents, the presence of AI agents changes behavior. And the other two are very much talking about collaboration processes. But the first one also has implications for concepts that are relevant in collaboration. And I choose to talk about more projects than one, just because I don't want to go too deep into the method and all these aspects, just to see what is out there and what we are doing here at Look, to spark some ideas. That's why every of these project has like 3 or 4 slides. So this is the starting slide. So the paper here and the research is about the effect of the mere presence of AI service agents on consumer information privacy concerns. And yeah, it deals with service agents on websites. You probably know these. They used to be humans where you had to wait a bit and then at some point they were helping you. And now a lot of these chatbots, AI agents are taking over that role. And what we did here, we wanted to see how the presence of these AI agents, how they influence specific behavior in individuals. And here you can see a website, an example that I developed within that project. It's of a health insurance, or even in some contexts it was a health insurance, in another context it was a general insurance company where we implemented this chatbot and manipulated specific aspects to see what the mere presence, what impact it has. So that's the goal. We wanted to see how AI versus human service agents presence influences users and consumers' privacy concerns, but also their information disclosure. Because, as I said, a lot of website designers, companies are now really increasingly utilizing these AI service agents. And we wanted to see and explain why AI agents may maybe reduce privacy concerns and increase information disclosure. And this addresses a gap because a lot of research, especially in marketing, but also in human computer interaction, mostly explores the active role of AI agents when they actively interact. But there are a lot of other concepts, the way they work, if they're good or bad. That is one thing that changes, yeah, how we perceive them. But here we look specifically on the mere presence, and that's why it also can be translated to some extent to the collaboration concept, where you have AI agents present. Um, so what is a theoretical background? Not going too much into detail here. They're relevant for the findings. We looked through the lens of the reactance theory, which states that people resist when they send a threat to their personal freedom, so privacy. Then power or social power of a service agent, authority, control over potential data. Then we look at consumer privacy concerns in general, which is an important thing in websites where you have to give private information. One of the websites, for example, was the health insurance, where we manipulated specific questions asking about the current health status that then informed the health insurance which we gave. And then yeah, theoretical concepts about AI versus human service agents, the perception of power, and the presence, active, the passive, and the near presence without active interaction. Okay, what did we do? So this is a very yeah, long study, long paper process. Already started 5 years ago. Now, last month we finally got the conditional acceptance on that paper, and it involved a lot of studies. Marketing people, researchers tend to really do a lot of studies to look at all potential moderators or other influencing factors to really show that this is the factor that was isolated. So we had 4 main studies that are reported in the paper, but we also had additional studies which are in the web appendix. It involved over 1,000 participants in total, We had samples from the US, UK, and Germany. We had student samples, but we also had general population recruited through Prolific. We tested these effects across different retail sectors. So we had insurance websites, but we also had online flower shops, pharmacy, food, or home goods. And we developed different kinds of websites where we manipulated the AI or human presence. And yeah, this is the interesting part now, the findings. So what we see here, or what we found across all these studies, is that there are lower privacy concerns when AI agents are present. And that is mostly mediated, so it goes through the perceived power. So AI agents seem to be less powerful, which then reduces privacy threats. And that also leads to a greater willingness to share information and even in increased patronage intention. So intention to buy something or intention to take a service. So very positive effect in regard to the AI agent. Um, but this effect reverses if the AI power is highlighted. So we manipulated the capabilities of the AI agent to be yeah, as capable as a human user, and that reversed the effect. And the effect also disappeared when the trustworthiness of the AI agent was salient, or the agent appeared post-purchase, so afterwards. That then made the effect disappear. So the implications for that is that privacy concerns yeah, are different between AI and human service agents. So AI agents in general are perceived less powerful. So the perceived power is the crucial mechanism linking these types, showing, okay, I have less privacy concerns. I'm more willing to share private information even to an AI than to a human agent, because there are many implications for that. It might be that AI is then just analyzing, it's going to an algorithm, it makes a decision, and no human will ever be in contact with that information. So this is some of the interesting findings we had there. So this is the interaction. And now I want to talk a bit more about the collaboration, even though the interaction also has some effects on yeah, on the potential collaboration. So in another paper, research study, which is called The Influence of Social Presence in Human AI Collaboration, we really wanted to look how collaborative AI can change team dynamics, can influence the motivation to contribute. For that, I developed this platform. It's an online platform which we call Collaboration Space. It's a text-based collaboration, which is important to note here. We do a lot of text-based collaboration. We are in Teams all the time. We are in Slack all the time. That's why it's still very relevant. We have Teams implementing AI chatbots. We have AI chatbots in Slack. So this is a very relevant topic. And here we yeah, had this brainstorming session for 5 minutes where users brainstorm together with an AI, which here is called Genbo, generation bot, which generates ideas. And yeah, we wanted to investigate how the presence of that AI teammate affects overall collaboration, and then also the motivation to contribute in that scenario. So how do active AI teammates change individual behavior in creative collaboration? And we did that because there is still a lot of there's limited research on really proactive teammates in group settings, in creative collaboration, while there's a lot of research in collaboration in CSCW and how group dynamics change in digital settings. And yeah, we really looked at some of these aspects here. We had a few theories here that we used as our lens. The biggest theory, or the main theory, is the social presence theory, which emphasizes that perceiving teammates as real persons in this computer-mediated setting. And it's critical for trust building, willingness to depend, on team-oriented commitment, engagement, but also motivation to contribute. And then we also looked through the theory of planned behavior as a lens to see how social presence might affect as a attitudes, norms, and perceived behavioral control, how that affects teams, members' motivation. Okay, I'll be a bit faster because there's another paper left. There are 10 minutes left. So here also we did 3 empirical studies using a text-based brainstorming task. So it's very similar to electronic brainstorming literature from the end of the 80s and 90s, where a lot of research was done related to electronic brainstorming on that platform that I showed you. And here we manipulated that one teammate, once it was a generation bot, Genbo, and AI, and once it was just a regular simulated user with a normal name. And what we did here, we had 2 online experiments on that platform where we had survey data that we captured, and then we had one behavioral study which we did in Switzerland, where we captured psychophysiological indicators like galvanic skin response and also facial expressions. And we focused here on the willingness to depend, team-oriented commitment, and motivation to contribute. So I'm not gonna derive this conceptual model now here in detail, but what we hypothesized is that there's no direct effect of the social presence to motivation to contribute, but there's an indirect mediated, sequentially mediated effect through the willingness to depend on others and team-oriented commitment. And this also, depends on the teammate type, but also something that we did. We manipulated the degree of the familiarity and understandability of that AI system, because social presence is usually in HCI research manipulated through anthropomorphism. So you just anthropomorphize AI systems more and more. You give them a name, you give them a face, you give them a character. But this is not always possible in text-based collaboration, because the just the nature of text-based collaboration limits the degree of anthropomorphism. That's why we introduce the degree of familiarity. But I think the findings are more important here. The interesting part is that lower social presence is associated to AI than to human presence. So just telling a system which looks exactly the same, giving it an AI name instead of a human name makes a difference in social presence. So people have a higher social presence if it's named Dominik than if it's named Genbo. But when you introduce and explain AI capabilities early and you get familiar with the AI, it increases social presence. It increases the familiarity and understandability. And we also see that there's an indirect effect. So social presence doesn't directly affect the motivation to contribute, but it's mediated. So a higher social presence relates to a higher willingness to depend on that AI teammate. And then that leads to a higher team-oriented commitment, which then also leads to a higher motivation to contribute. And this is quite interesting for practice also, for all these AI systems that are implemented in digital collaboration platforms, text-based collaboration platforms, because where you have limited means of anthropomorphizing, or where you maybe even don't want to anthropomorphize, there are reasons why you don't want to do that. For example, OpenAI's ChatGPT is not anthropomorphized at all. That's why it's not having a name like Siri. So you can make decisions against anthropomorphism, but you still want to have some feeling of social presence. Then you can use familiarity, transparency, understandability. And that also enhances then behavioral intentions in a team setting. Okay, the last one, real quickly, is implemented on the same platform. We run other experiments, but here we wanted to. We always had that idea, and I had that idea already in 2015 when I published my first paper on human AI collaboration. Is the concept of social laughing. So I in my research I really look at a lot of these older team phenomena, team dynamics that has been researched in the 70s, 80s, social laughing, free riding, production blocking, and all of these yeah dynamics that happen in a team. And I'm always wondering, like, do these dynamics also happen in human AI teams? How do we perceive AI? What will it change? And one aspect is social laughing, which is a fascinating concept, which you probably all know. When you work in bigger groups, there's always someone who socially laughs because there's a team who can do the work, and you're just like that person is just nodding and saying like, yeah, that's a good idea. And at the end, if you see what that person actually contributed, it was not much. It was hiding within the group. But the team is still quite effective, but the potential of that person is not really triggered or not used because that person is social laughing. And that happens especially with dominant team members where you just don't see the value of adding, or where you're holding your effort back because you have some very powerful teammate, dominant teammate. And in this paper, we really want to analyze that concept. So how does AI, which is perceived quite as powerful as a teammate, influences behavior of lowering effort, so social laughing, um, effort reduction, especially with dominant and powerful others? What about AI? Because we see AI shifting from only summarizing your work to being proactive teammates, altering these group dynamics. And there hasn't been lots of research on this concept. So yeah, again, here background on human AI collaboration, but also social laughing theory. So individuals may reduce effort when working in groups, whereas when they work alone, due to diffused accountability, but also other aspects. And there are nuances of that, the free rider or sucker effect, which is related to the superior capabilities, but also other concepts. And then we also looked through the model of the collective effort model, which suggests that people expend effort based on an expected value and uniqueness of their contributions. And we really wanted to see, do we see that also in human AI teams? Another key concept is safe self-efficacy or knowledge safe self-efficacy, the confidence in personal expertise, because we think that is something that moderates laughing, social laughing. If you have a very dominant person and you have a low self-efficacy, you social laugh even more. If you have high self-efficacy, you can say like, okay, I really need to contribute because my knowledge is so important, or I'm very aware of my knowledge. So this is a concept we also had in this paper. I'm jumping over this method real quick. Again, we had 3 experiments, survey online based, but also psychophysiological measures. We added EEG this time, and the same platform with brainstorming. We had a few more other aspects that we looked at: quantity, quality of the contribution, time constraints, because they are indicators, quantity and quality, for social laughing. And what we saw here, first of all, is an increased social laughing when AI is present. This is a bit like expected, but it's tied to reduced self-efficacy, which is also quite expected. Um, then we also looked at AI anxiety, because we found the concept of technological anxiety or techno stress as something that might influence that. The more you have AI anxiety as an own concept, the more you might social laugh, but we didn't find consistent data here. So the main driver is really the self-efficacy, the drop in confidence. So humans sometimes assume AI superior capabilities, causing them to withhold effort. And this is I think it has huge implications. We see that already now. It has implications also to skill erosion or de-skilling, where you just over rely on AI and you don't put effort. But social loafing is one of the method that causes that. So the AI competency, the AI perceived intelligence as one aspect. Yeah, so it has implications to social loafing theory, and what we try in our research team and what I try to do is to really check all these team dynamic, all these concepts that have been overly researched in human teams, and try to figure out whether these social dynamics also apply to human AI teams, and what is the difference in human AI teams. So there are some key takeaways, maybe also in the design of the AI and the way you perceive it. Do you make it very powerful or not? Do you show that it's very powerful? Because that might cause some social loafing. So these are the concepts. Yeah, I'm very open to any questions and answers. If you would like to connect with me, please scan that QR code, and then you can add me on LinkedIn. You can find my Google Scholar and my profile on the LUT website. And I think I'm over 1 minute roughly, but I'm very happy to receive your questions. I'm going to switch now to the meeting back, then you might see yourself. Okay. And I can stop the presentation now, but I can, yeah, reshare it again. Thanks.
Thank you, Dominik. Well, you are perfectly on time. We've started with some minutes late. So as I said, if somebody hasn't understood well something or wants some clarification, do ask now. Otherwise, we are going to keep the questions for the second part of the meeting. So just for clarification. So there is a question in the chat. Yes.
Yeah.
So you may want to answer.
Oh, that's a very good question. So far, we had that planned, because that's a good point. But so far we haven't indicated the participants that the ideas will be evaluated. We had one follow-up study which I haven't reported, which I haven't reported here, but that's where all the ideas are collected. And then the participants can vote for the best idea. So they are not going to experts, but they are. And there we want to see also, maybe not for that paper, but we want to see whether also people vote for human ideas, for AI ideas, or where this is going. But and the idea, the task to solve was based on an IDEO workshop. So IDEO does this design thinking, and they had this how to get more visitors for a local zoo, and that was the one of the basic. It's a very well used example if you want to do design thinking or if you want to do show brainstorming. So this is what they were working on. And the AI also came up with ideas.
Okay, thank you. Hans, you raised your hand.
Yes, I sent the message, but I will say it orally. My name is Hans Samari, and I'm a PhD student under the supervision of Agnès et Catherine. My research focuses on socially interactive empathic agents and their impact on behavior change. Actually, in the literature, collaboration is defined either as a level of interaction or as an alliance strategy, similar to cooperation and coordination in the social sciences and humanities literature. Therefore, when I read the term interaction and collaboration in your title, I would like to understand whether you consider collaboration to be distinct from interaction. Additionally, could you clarify whether there are specific criteria that allow us to classify a relationship between humans and AI as collaboration, cooperation, or even mere coexistence?
Hmm. Yeah, very, very good question. I wrote my PhD about collaborative creativity, and I remember having these talks with my supervisor. She always wanted to distinguish between coordination, collaboration, and in German we even have Kollaboration as a word which also has a negative connotation. So we had like long discussions. So when I talk about collaboration, I usually say the joint effort towards a common goal, and that's some collaboration technology definition. How I distinguish interaction and collaboration is when in collaboration you actively contribute to the outcome. Is it an idea? Then you put aspects into that idea. If it's a painting, then you have painted parts of that. If it's a document, you have written something in that document. So the co-creation aspect, so the you putting something in the final result, that's the collaboration aspect. While the interaction aspect is on a influencing level. So you don't have an entity that you're working on. You don't have a manuscript, painting, or an idea that you're working on. Though the interaction is something that you support, you give feedback for that. So that's how I distinguish that, and that's always when I say a human AI collaboration is that the AI takes a proactive part, and that's also in our implementation where I implemented the prototype because currently LLMs work very reactive. That's not how collaboration is. So you also should by yourself contribute something without reacting to something. So that's concepts of um, collaboration. I don't um, I never so that's only my other definition when you talk about collaboration and cooperation, because we also have Kooperation in German, and that is usually on a level where different entities cooperate towards some common goal, but they don't work on an entity like a manuscript. So cooperation I see in companies where department work to make the company function, where the marketing people sell the product, the developers are developing the product. That's the cooperation. So the collaboration is where, in my opinion, the most dynamic social dynamics appear because you are influencing each other by your appearance, by your mere presence, but also by your action. I hope I hope that somehow explains the distinctive